All right. Good. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm so excited about this teaching. This is India Ari. I don't own the rights to this music. I'll use the microphone to make sure. I've got live audience here. Yay! So I'm going to talk back and forth. Open that door and let her in. That's why she was calling to let me know she's on her way. Let her sneak in right there to the side. Okay. So, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is India Ari playing Coulda Shoulda. Have y'all heard this? Oh my goodness. You got to listen to it. I'm going to break it down or turn it off in a second. Hi, beautiful. I'm going to turn it down in a second because, of course, I'm going to teach. But I am loving this, and it's the perfect setup to what I want to teach today. So today, welcome those of you that are joining us by video and Facebook Live. I'm your host, Dr. D. And so once a month, I host an Impact Hour called Impact Hour. And it's hosted by me and those that work with me from the Greater Spiritual Center. And so this teaching that I want to do today, I'm not going to be long, I promise you. One, because I got a lot of stuff on the calendar today, but it's the day before resurrection. And I've decided today to talk about self-resurrection. So we can bring India already down now. I've decided today to talk about self-resurrection. So I know that across many faiths, there's a celebration of the resurrection of who we call Jesus, the Christ. And if the story is true, this is what I've been saying in my videos, kind of announcing to teach today. If the story is true, Jesus done resurrected. I'm concerned about our resurrection, our individual resurrection from the things that we've been buried in. Whether that's, oppression, depression, relationship cycles, poverty, whatever. There are a lot of things that we sometimes find ourselves buried in. And so today, I'm going to talk about self-resurrection. And my toolkit for self-resurrection today is called PMS. PMS, yes. And so I'm going to use this metaphor to give you a toolkit for getting through self-resurrection. So I actually believe that you have an opportunity to self-resurrect. And I know for some people that's like, oh, well, that's you're taking the power away from divinity. No, the power of divine is in us. It is in us. It is in us if we embrace it. And so I want to encourage us to continue to embrace that which is in us. And so that's why I'm calling it self-resurrection. I got to pause Facebook Live and everybody because my mentor, my spiritual mentor, my father, Archbishop David Jones just walked in. You got to say hi. I want to give honor because a huge part of his deposits helped me to breathe and teach what I teach now. And so I'm going to teach this toolkit called PMS to help us practice self-resurrection. Now I know it's a metaphor that's very feminine, but I'm not going to apologize for it because, people use sports metaphors teaching all the time, right? Football and basketball, and you don't understand what they're talking about half the time. A 3-4 defense and a 4-4 defense. So I want to apologize for using this metaphor, PMS. So I'm going to give you my P, and then I'm going to teach that a little bit, give you the M, and then give you the S. All of this for self-resurrection. Say self-resurrection.
Self-resurrection.
Perfect. And if you want to know more about what we do and what we teach and all of that, we've got some stuff archived at greaterloveyou.com, and I think that's listed there in the title of the post. All right, so PMS, how to get through self-resurrection. So the P in the PMS stands for pursuing wholeness. Pursuing wholeness. So this is really, I'm really passionate about this because I, like many of you, grew up in a background where, first of all, we gave you a big list of do's and don'ts, okay? And some of them, many of them were well intended. For me, a big list of do's and don'ts came from what I refer to as my Pentecostal background. And the big do's and don'ts really boiled down to being holy. And we spent so much time and energy trying to get people to be holy that we've neglected helping people to be whole. Yes. So a huge part of self-resurrection has to do with you pursuing wholeness. And so that might mean, I'm going to give you a tip when I get to the M, the PMS. But pursuing wholeness, it might mean, for example, professional assistance. I've been to therapy. therapy, one of the greatest choices I made in my life. I went there for one thing. We took care of that in about 1 month. I stayed for 2 years because I didn't know some other stuff in there that I needed to detox, you see. And so whether that's professional assistance, I always tell my students as well, manage your diet. You know how we used to say, you are what you eat? You know, we used to watch that on, when you're watching Sesame Street, Electric Company. I'm going back, Electric Company. That was probably before that, okay? And so they would have these little public service commercials, you are what you eat. So they would tell you to eat your apples and different things like that. Well, that's the same way for us in our spiritual consciousness, in our personal development, our spiritual development, our professional development. You are what you eat. So pursue wholeness. You need to pursue some vegetables in your spiritual, emotional, professional diet. What does that mean? I love fun shows. I watch a little reality stuff. I do, every now and then. But you also got to balance that out with watching something of substance, reading materials of substance. So you got to have your lifelines. Remember the show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? You got to have your lifelines that help to infuse you and get you to a point and places, because I don't think it's a one-time thing, but places of wholeness. It's a pursuit. And so while we spend all of this time trying to get people to be what we call holy, we neglected helping people to really deal with the issues of abuse, child abuse, sexual abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse, all of these different things that we very often find ourselves in. So that's the key, pursuing wholeness. So I'm going to give you one of my little keys for pursuing wholeness. So those of you that have been with me for some time, you already know one of my keys. Louise Hay. It's a book called I Can Do It. It's a simple little book called I Can Do It. And it's written by Louise Hay. If you don't have that book, get that book. That's the quickest way I can help you manifest this P in the PMS to help you self-resurrect. It's a small book called I Can Do It. I get no royalties for recommending this book. They don't pay me, but I'm offering it to you to help you self-resurrect. So it's a powerful little book, so get that, so that you can learn to pursue wholeness. We've been so busy trying to tell you who to sleep with, who not to sleep with, and all of those are mechanics. Those are mechanics. The deeper root is, how do I feel about myself? Yes. How do I feel about myself? Do I like myself? I tell people you are an image of God. The problem is we've not always treated each other like an image of the divine. And so when somebody mistreated you, did not treat you like an image of the divine, then that's what you take in. Then you teach that back out, and we just recycle that. It's what we might call a generational curse. We're just recycling what we've been taught not to love ourselves, right? So pursuing wholeness has to do with you embracing that you are here on purpose. I don't care how you got here. I don't care if you don't know the donor or whatever the action was, incest, rape, or an affair, or intent. I don't care. You got here. You made it through the birth canal. Yeah. So you're here for a reason. And so we spent so much time trying to prescribe to you who to be with, who not to be with, when this and when that we've neglected to allow you a safe place to heal. So get that book. I got to teach fast and I'll be on here all day. So that's my shortcut for the P in PMS. Get the book, I Can Do It. It's an amazing, incredible read that's going to help you pursue wholeness. Pursue wholeness. One of my favorite scriptures is, death and life is in the power of the tongue. Louise Hay in that I Can Do book, she's going to tell you how to work your tongue. Yes. She's going to tell you how to work your brain power. As a man thinketh, so is he. She's going to tell you how to work your brain power and your tongue power that's going to help you pursue wholeness. That's the P. Now for the M, because I promised I wasn't going to be all day. For the M, PMS, self-resurrection. So for the M, my M is, 1, you need to, P, pursue wholeness. 2, for the M, you need a little Michelle Obama. You're going to have to put a little bit of Michelle Obama in your life recipe, okay? Now, I'm saying this, and you probably think I'm going to refer to the popular book, the best-selling book, and I'm not, because I haven't read it yet, but I'm getting there, okay? But years ago, before President Barack Obama became president, he had just given his speech at the Democratic National Convention, and this isn't a political plug by any means. So those of you that know me, I do R's and D's, okay? I vote all over the place, so this isn't that. But he had just given his speech at the Democratic National Convention, and he was very popular, a lot of interest, like, wow, who is this guy? So Oprah Winfrey decided to interview the then Senator Barack Obama and Michelle Obama. And I was fascinated because he was talking about how he was so excited that he and one of his colleagues had passed a bill, or they got a bill passed, or was on his way or something like that. He was so excited. He got to the house, got off the plane, came back in from D.C., got to the house in Chicago. He's telling Michelle, babe, you know, we got this bill that passed. And she said, we have ants. We have ants in the house. We have ants. No, but we got this bill passed. It's great. This is super. She said, we have ants. So I'm going to need you to go to the store and get whatever we need, because we got ants. Okay? And what I loved about that moment is I don't care how positive, progressive, how successful, or how high your moment might be. You need somebody to help you stay balanced. You need somebody to help you stay balanced. We got some ants. Yeah? Because that balance is going to be very key to your ongoing self-resurrection. I had a friend once that used to tell me, he was a former drug dealer, and he used to tell me one of their codes was, you don't get high on your own supply. Come on, right? You know, I grew up in the church, so I didn't have that phrase. So, you know, that's one of the phrases I learned through that little friendship right there. You don't get high on your own supply. Some people get high on their own supply, and then they can't find themselves through resurrection. Because you up in the cloud. And sometimes you got to balance some things out. And so, in other words, when I say you need some Michelle Obamas, the first part of that is you need some people in your life to help keep you balanced. You need some people in your life to help keep you balanced. Now, the other part of that Michelle Obama is not what I heard her say, but what I heard Tika Sumter say, who played her in the movie South Side. So there was a conversation in the movie South Side that's based on Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, Robinson was her maiden name, based on their first date. And I'm referring to the movie because, you know, Hollywood takes liberty, so I don't know if she actually said this next line that I'm going to give you, or if this was something that they scripted, okay? So in the movie, they had this conversation where she's asking him about his father, and he says, you know, my father, I don't really talk much about him, you know, he's just, you know, he lived a very incomplete life. And it was like he struggled to have anything good to say about his father. And all he could say was, he was incomplete. He has an incomplete life. We don't even have a marker on his grave. Incomplete life. And Michelle Obama, or at least the character of Michelle Obama, said to him, he's supposed to be incomplete. That's why you have sons. That's why you have daughters. That's why you have nieces, nephews, cousins. I got to add them in there because I don't have any birth children. But that's why you have the next generation.
Yes.
Because what you do is incomplete. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be incomplete. You do your part, then you pass the baton. Mm-hmm. My point is, you need somebody in your life to help tell you that every now and then, so you can resurrect yourself from all of this other stuff. I can't, he can't, she this, he that, my daddy was incomplete, my mama wasn't here. But you're here. You're here. You are here. Yes, you're here. So, yeah. Say, I'm here.
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here, right?
I'm here.
Yeah. So you need people in your life sometimes to shake you and tell you when you're right and when you're wrong. If everybody in your circle is always, girl, you are the bomb. Man, you got it, man. Be like you, man, you got it. If that's all you hear all day long, it's something wrong. You need some people in your life that love you and love you enough. Not beating you down, but love you enough to say, hey, that's supposed to be incomplete because the other part is in you. The other part is in you. It's supposed to be incomplete. So, who are your friends? And I know we've heard this before. You know, who are your friends? If you're the smartest person in your circle, you know, there's a problem. Keep that circle. Keep that circle. If you're the smartest one in that circle, keep that circle because they obviously need you.
Yes.
But then you need to create another circle with some people that know some things, they have some things, they got some insight that you don't have. And let those people in. It might just be one or two. And allow those people to say to you, that's supposed to be incomplete because you're the one that's supposed to complete it. Let them do that. So you guys know my sister friend Lisa, we've got this little code we use called climate shifter. So every now and then she'll come, I'm like, hey man, this is not a good day, things. She'll call and say, what's up, climate shifter? You got it in you to shift climates.
Yes.
You got it in you to shift atmospheres. You got it in you to change the situation. You don't like the outcome, change it.
Yes.
You got it in you. As a man thinketh, so is he.
Yes.
You got it in you. Reminds me of the story I often tell. Dad had a Mercedes-Benz and took it in several times for it to get worked on. And he would always tell the guy, see you next time. And you know what happened?
It's on the next
He always had to see him the next time. So finally he decided to say, thank you. Thank you. And just leave. Because I don't want to see you the next time.
Right.
And see, sometimes you need people in your life to wake you up and say, you tired of taking your car in? You tired of giving your money to this situation?
Yes.
Well, change it.
Yes.
Because you've got the power on the inside of you. And I'll be right here with you. I had a friend one day that was going through, she didn't feel like she was going to make it. I went over to her house and I just put, she don't even remember this, by the way. She was so out of it, she don't even remember. I went to her house and I just put Post-it notes all up on her wall of positive thoughts and positive affirmations, reminding her who you are. Reminding her who she is. And she finally woke up. And she's going on now. And we had a conversation one day. I was like, yeah, remember when I came and put that stuff on your wall? She was like, I don't even remember. But that's okay. She survived.
Yes.
She survived. So you need some Michelle Obamas. You need that kind of stuff floating around to tell you we need some ants while you getting high on your supply. We need some ants. And number two, it's supposed to be incomplete because you're the one that's supposed to complete it. Yes?
Yes.
Woo, that's good. Okay, yes, that is so good. So pursue wholeness. You need some Michelle Obama type friends in your life. And number three is the S. Set your own standard.
That's good.
Set your own standard. This is the third part of your toolkit for self-resurrection. Now I'm going to take probably a little bit of time on this, but I'm going to try to push it through so we can let everybody go and get on with their day. But set your own standard. And I have to say, these are words that I've heard my mentor, my father, Archbishop, repeat. And it is piercing me right now. Set your own standard. Yes. This is connected to the P that I talked about, pursuing wholeness. Because for a long time, you work hard trying to live somebody else's standard, which might be a good one. It just doesn't work for you.
Yes. Yes.
And so you're spending a lot of energy trying to live somebody else's standard. And this is not going to be my license to tell you to just do whatever, because you got to know what works for you.
There you go.
If you know you can't, your body doesn't take milk well, then you need to set a standard regarding your consumption of milk and dairy, right? Because your body just does not like that. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah. So you need to learn you. This goes back to the P, pursuing wholeness. Get that I Can Do It book. Pursue. Let that book help you to build some foundation for pursuing wholeness. And the more whole you become, you will then learn to set the standards that work for you.
Yes.
And not for somebody else. What would it be like if somebody said, I want to be a doctor, and we just taught them that brain surgery, and I want to be a neurosurgeon, we just taught them that brain surgery, this all you need to know for brain surgery, this one thing right there. Instead of them going to college for years, they could just go to a tech school for 3 months. Because everybody's brain surgery is the same. That doesn't make sense. And so every standard might not be for you, so you got to learn to set your own standard, what works for you.
Yes. Yes.
And that's not a license to go crazy. As I've said, if you can't consume dairy well, then set a standard in response to that. Now, I gotta tell you a little bit of my business. I'm gonna be very careful because I'm live on Facebook, okay? So I'm gonna be real diplomatic and I'm gonna code this thing right on through, all right? Because I gotta take you through a little journey of my PMS and how I had to set some standards for myself.
Okay.
So this is one of them I was dating somebody stories, okay?
Okay.
So I was dating somebody. I saw somebody laughing. It's one of those, okay? And just let me take you to the end real quick. We fine, we good. God bless you, you and your family, everybody good. Okay, now, but the dating story. So I met someone, and we were in and out of a dating relationship for 10 years. 10 years. We were in and out for 10 years. And I was the one that kept creating the out. I'm like, I'm done. Let's not play. I'm done. And then he come back around, you know, I'm like, okay. 10 years. He never broke on me. I was always the one. So I'm going to confess that right now. I was always the one. And I kept breaking up and ending the relationship because like the average woman, okay, I want this to be what it's going to be. Are we going to be a unit? We're going to be a family or what? But we had a couple of complications, one major one. I'm not proud of this. I'm going to put all the details right here, okay? I'm not proud of it, but I didn't have a certain measure of wholeness. When I got into this, I didn't have the I Can Do It book quite yet. I didn't have all the PMS tools that I have now. And so in my lack of wholeness, it was a relationship that started while he was separated. Not divorced, but separated. Now I know for some people, you good, you safe. Okay? But I got some stuff. Okay? Got some stuff because let's be a little bit more honest. I know the family. I befriended the family. Okay? Not during this, but prior. And as things went along, whatnot, separation occurred, and in my lack of wholeness, my fear, you know, this my opportunity, this my chance. Shoot, it's time for me to be loved. We don't say that, but there's something that's clicking inside of you that says you got to do it this way. You have to, you must, you deserve this. And so we went 10 years back and forth. And finally, in those 10 years, what happened was I was going through this PMS, and I had some Michelle Obamas in my life, keeping me from getting high on my own supply, and letting me know the things that I was griping about that's incomplete is supposed to be incomplete because I'm the one that's supposed to complete it, okay? And I'm reading my Louise Hay. So 10 years later, I'm realizing that I'm in the cemetery. 10 years later, I realized I'm in the cemetery. And I want to be resurrected. I'm tired of this.
Yes.
And I will tell you what became my number one clue. And it wasn't how it started. I'm not dismissing that, okay? But what became my moment of ultimate clarity was I calculated the times that I was doing this, teaching. This is my passion, my call to teach, to inspire, to equip people. And when I calculated the number of times I did this and he was absent. The number of times that I was doing what I was born to do and he was absent. I decided I need a new standard in my life.
Yes. Yes.
I need a new standard.
Yes.
Because this is what I'm born to do, to help equip people. And if you cannot be next to me, with me, somewhere in the building, you can get a microphone too. If you don't want a microphone, turn on the lights for me before I get there.
Yes.
Something.
Yes.
When I realized that, I decided I need a new standard.
Yes.
It's time for me to come up out of this cemetery. And I made a decision. And I made the decision on my birthday.
Yes.
Now, it took me a little time to crawl out of that cemetery. I made the decision and stepped out of the grave. 6 months later, he got married, and I realized I was slowly walking out the cemetery with grave clothes on, but I was coming out.
Yes.
And I congratulated him. And I cried. And I congratulated and I cried, but I'm coming out.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Because it didn't take him but 6 months to marry her. He was with me for 10 years. Come on, come on. That tells me right there, I was in the cemetery. I needed to pursue some wholeness.
Yes.
And I needed for somebody to tell me the little high that you think you've been feeling ain't a real high.
Yes.
So come down off of that supply
Yes.
and set a new standard.
Yes.
Woo!
Yes.
And what is so good about it? What is so good about it? As you can tell, I'm about to close and wrap up. What is so good about this is once you begin to set that standard, to get up out of that grave and walk out of the cemetery, take your time. Because there's going to be some other people that pull on your grave clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And I am so happy to say that I have a new strength because a similar situation came back around and I was able to say, I have a new standard. It ain't even you.
Yes.
It ain't even you.
Yes.
This is not even about you.
Yes.
This is not even about you. I have a new standard because I am finally understanding that I deserve good.
Yes. Yes.
That I deserve good. That I am a divine expression in the earth. And I deserve to practice my divinity.
Yes.
I deserve to practice my divinity. And I offer my divinity to you. How are you? Have a good day. And you deserve to practice your divinity. Yes. Oh my God. Okay. That's really the conclusion of my teaching. Resurrect yourself. You've got that power. Pursue wholeness. Pursue wholeness. Get you some Michelle Obamas to help you not get high on this fake supply.
Yes.
Running around here thinking everything is okay. That's a temporary high. You're going to come down off of that.
Yes.
And when you come down off of that, you're going to need something to be rooted in. And good friends will help you. And a good friend is not just going to tell you not to get high on your own supply. They'll be there when you come down off the high. I got you. I know you told me, but I didn't. I know, but I got you. I'm here with you. I should have listened to you. Yes, but that's okay. You should have, but you did not. I'm here with you too.
Right.
I got you.
Right.
I should have known better. You should have, but come on, I got you. Listen, you know. So you need somebody to be there when you come down off of that fake high, trying to substitute happiness, real happiness. And then, as you do those things, you begin to set your own standard. You don't have to be in and out the hotel with nobody that you're supposed to be with. And it ain't even holiness. It's just whole. Because I know who I am. I know who I am. I love myself. I'm worthy of something that's much more concrete than this. Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm worthy of that. And so are you. And so are you. Thank you so much for joining us. Facebook Live, thank you. YouTubers, thank you for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed this teaching. Resurrect yourself. Pursue wholeness. Get you some Michelle Obama stuff in your life. Get that book, I Can Do It. And set your own standard. Okay? Love you. Bye.